I calculated the returns for every single stock on the New York Stock Exchange. Let's find out which stocks performed the best in 2023. Without further ado, here are the final results. Y comes in first place at almost 60% returns, which is pretty amazing. H did exceptionally well at over 20%. D did not do so well, so don't buy any stocks that start with the letter D, apparently. If you want to know how to do this in the coding portion, stick around. The results looked a little bit like this. So the code will produce this big list, and you'll be able to find out all of the returns in 2023 for each stock on the New York Stock Exchange. Okay, so now for the coding section. What we're going to be doing here is finding the returns of every single ticker on the New York Stock Exchange, and then we're going to be grouping those by the letter that the ticker starts with, and then finding which letter returned the most for 2023. Starting with importing Yahoo Finance and Pandas. This is good for any sort of financial data, and then Pandas is good for structuring our data in data frames. And what we're going to do is first create a data frame from our list that we have in our directory. The file is called New York Stock Exchange list. And I downloaded this off the internet. It was just a list of 3,000 or so stocks from the New York Stock Exchange, some of which were delisted over the course of the year. Every single stock you could want is in here. And then we'll say we're going to create our little list of tickers, forming it from the data frame from this column titled ticker and to list. So all this is doing is taking the column name or the whole column ticker and then converting it to a list here. Now in year 2023, just so we get the full data set, we're going to create empty list and then start our for loop. And in the for loop, we're doing for S and stonks. So for the given ticker in the ticker list, we want to download the data from the beginning of the year and the end of the year for each one of these tickers. And I'm just going to denote that with X and Y. So X will be the beginning of the year data, Y will be the end of the year data. Then at the end of the year, we're just going to do Y divided by X will be the actual return. And we're going to be appending that to our list. So we'll fill in the blanks here, but that's the structure of this for loop. And so for the beginning of the year data, we can use this function yf.download. It shows you some of the options here. And download will enable you to take a ticker and then provide a start date, which I'll say here, and give an end date of 1/04. And I'm going to have it a few days in just to include the New Year holiday as well as weekend days, just so it has a full day of data. And actually, I'm going to take one of the values in that download is going to be a column full of the close prices. So we'll say close. So pulling from that data frame that we downloaded, we're going to do x close.values. So we're just taking these values here and then do the same exact thing but for y. So I could really copy and paste the structure. But the start date we're going to do towards the end of the year. And then end of the year will be the actual last day of the year. And then our Y1, we're just going to do the same thing, which is Y, and then pull the actual closing price of that data set, pull those values. So actually this is going to be Y1 divided by X1. So this will be the return for every single stock on the New York Stock Exchange list in 2023. And now we're going to take that information and append it to our empty list, actually putting it in a tuple. So the ticker, comma, the return for that ticker. And now our for loop is all set. So that's all we needed to do for the for loop. From here, we're just going to be structuring the data frame. We're going to be manipulating the data frame and the data to find what letter returned the most throughout the year. So the rest of this code is just going to be pertaining to some data manipulation of this data frame we already have. And actually, I didn't, so, well, results equals pd dot data frame. So first converting this list into a data frame. So now we're going to be working with this, and we're going to be looking at some fun data with these stock tickers. But I actually want to rename the columns. I just like having them something I can recognize, which will be, we'll say ticker, and then return. And we're going to assign the results data frame these new column names. So now we're all set with this results data frame, and from here we're going to be creating a new column in the data frame that will have the first letter of each ticker. So Apple, it's going to just put an A in the new column. For SoFi, it's going to put S in the new column. And to do that, we're going to do data frame, and then we're going to say first letter, and then results. It's going to grab this ticker column, and it's going to just grab the first character. It's a string, so it's just going to grab the first character. It's going to take that character and plop it over here into our new column. So from here, it'll be easy to group the different stocks, what they start with, and we can do that with a function group by that is very useful. And what that's going to do, group by, is just take all of the similar letters, or the same letters, so all the A's, all the B's, and so on, and it can perform a calculation on a different row, or on a different column, whatever we'd like that calculation to be, and combine everything all at once, so in just one line of code. And what this is doing, so it's taking that letter, it's grouping by all the same first letters, so it's grouping all the A's, all the B's, all the C's, and then it's going to the return, and it's computing an average for that. So this is going to produce 26 different rows. It's going to produce a different return for each unique letter. And that's what this group by expression is perfect for. So yeah, very useful. We actually have to do one tiny thing, because you'll notice we don't have this value column formed yet. And the way Yahoo Finance returns these data sets, it produces a NumPy array. So we're just going to take that array, convert it to a scalar in a column called value, just so it's easier to work with. And I'm actually just going to do a simple little function. So mean of array, which will input the NumPy array. And we're just going to be returning that argument mean. So it's just going to convert that to a single number. And then we have to apply it to our new column we're creating. Results. So this current results column here was full of NumPy arrays, and we're going to be applying this function. So, okay, we're all set with that now. From here, all you need to do is to view this better. I do like, honestly, looking at these in Excel. It's just kind of easier to visualize for me. So converting some of these back to CSV files and opening in Excel, I like viewing it like that. And we're gonna output that data frame and then returns by letter to CSV. We're gonna say it's called returns by letter.csv. And there you have it.